pleasure to be with everyone today. The topic today is Spirit Within. And my intention in this talk is to eliminate the illusion, to eliminate the idea of a gap between us and spirit, between us and universal intelligence, God, life, whatever speaks to you and how and what you would call it. My intention is also to be on time, so I've got an alarm here. So I've got about 20 minutes to rapid fire something through here. My thing in life, even since I was young, was really enjoying the discovery of how life unfolds, just simply the mechanism in which life reveals itself and how we experience life, and which eventually brought me to New Thought, or the Science of Mind. The truths that I discovered there were the same truths that I had within my own being, my own heart, my own consciousness. And married with that, I love in-your-face responsibility, the really putting it to one's own self to see how we can shape and create our experience, how we shape and create our life. And the beautiful thing about responsibility, it's simply that. It's the ability to respond. And it's seeing how what we experience is simply the unfoldment of consciousness, of our state of being. So much of that is attached to belief. It's attached to different conditions that we create these beliefs from. So coming back to it, I love delving in law, universal principles, and again, seeing how life unfolds and how we can utilize these laws or these spiritual technologies to experience bliss, joy, to experience our true essence, our true nature. And when I'm astray with that, when I'm experiencing stress, a sense of dis-ease, if I'm stuck, if you will, I look at where do I go from there? Where can I do to alleviate that lack of harmony? And it's always through the turning within and coming to the understanding of my true spiritual nature, the essence of all life, that essence that is spirit, that is love, that is harmony, instantly dissolves that appearance of stress, dissolves that illusion of struggle, and it immediately eliminates that idea of separation. And ultimately, that, I would say, all stress or unease or lack of harmony is due to the idea, the illusion of separation, of us being separate from spirit, from that which is spirit. And what is spirit but harmony? It is peace. It is oneness. It's love. It's joy. It's grace and it's bliss. So this begins with faith. It's a deep conviction, a deep-rooted knowing in your true self, in your true essence. And through that faith comes healing. It comes, I would say, healing is revealed. The number one common denominator of healing is faith. It's a deep, rich, rooted conviction. And one powerful distinction that I love about healing, there's many powerful different speakers that are out there, and ministers, practitioners, or us that experience healing in our lives or perhaps have seen it. yet it's never us, it's never the minister, it's never that great writer or speaker that actually creates the healing. It's the presence within that does it. It's through our faith we're able to open ourselves up to that spiritual potentiality. And we open ourselves up in consciousness to allow it to be seen. But it's always ever present. It's always wholeness. It's always wellness. It's always abundance. There is no lack or limitation. And it's beautiful that it's not on our shoulders. How much stress do we give ourselves in thinking we need to carry the end result of it? It's let go and give it to God. Have your conviction be clear, be rooted in faith, and then release it. It's not for you to even do it. And you can't do it. It's beyond that. But it's funny, too, because there's that distinction of, well, that which is it is within you. So, it's everywhere. Relationship, I so much love because it's where the richness of life is experienced. And it also can be such an indicator of where you get to focus your work, if you will, your spiritual work, where you get to see where you can let go of things or drop old belief systems that aren't working for you. Again, life mirrors consciousness, and how we see that is through relationship. I'm speaking relationship on all levels, friends, family, stranger, just relationship to life as a whole. One powerful thing that, of course, many of y'all know, the golden rule. The golden rule. This particular spiritual principle is said in many different philosophies and thoughts. It's also spoken in Buddhism, Judaism, you name it. It comes out in a different wording, but it's all the same. It's a synonymous principle. And again, the golden rule being do unto others as you would have done unto you. There we go. And I find it quite funny how so often we aren't for ourselves what we would want for ourselves. That can get lost in, and if someone isn't what we think or how they should be treating us, we can be so quick to they need to treat others how they would want to be treated. They're not treating me the way that I should be treated. And we're quick to spot where that's occurring outside of us. Yet it can take it necessitates a moment of stopping, it necessitates an interruption, a breath to actually see, well, where am I not being for myself what I truly desire to experience and what I want for myself and life and those around me. Ultimately, that comes through compassion. We speak about relationship, and it all unfolds and carries over from the one relationship that is revealed throughout all life, the one that you're having with yourself. And you can gauge your, let's say, health of your relationship with self through how they are with all those that are around you. Your friends, family, you name it, even a stranger. I love the distinction of, I don't remember where it came from or who said it, but it's been said, if you think you're spiritually enlightened, go have a 10-person dinner with your family. Just have a sit-down dinner with your family, 10 of them, and see how you are and how you operate. What comes up for you, regardless of of the highs and lows, what's your state of being? Can you maintain that state of peace, that state of compassion? And can you be an empowering being in their presence? And if not, that's the good news too, because that life always directs you right where you get to do the work, or right where you can evolve. And again, always the gifts of life being revealed through relationship. And so often, for me, the number one place that I go to, that I see when life isn't what I view as being harmonious or working for me, or I'm not working it, or I'm in a stuck, stagnant place, it all comes back for me to a lack of self-acceptance. It's a caustic self-worth conversation. I mean, if you're having struggles and battles in relationship, it's a very strong bet you can trace it back to an inner conversation that you're having with yourself, the relationship with self, where there's a lack of acceptance, there's a lack of compassion, there is a low self-worth conversation that you're having with yourself that spills over into those around you. You know, there's those that might feel that the relationship that they're in, whether it be I would just say one of your closer relationships, whether it be with a sibling, whether it be husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, or just simply what you view as your best friend or your father. You know, it's in those relationships where struggle can come up at its highest degree. Our level of frustration and pointing the finger outside ourselves surface in that moment. And some of us want to distance ourselves at times from those relationships and say, this person isn't right for me, and I'm not like them, and therefore I'm out. You know, I'm ready to shut it down. And not to say that can't be a later on conclusion that might serve both. It's the unfortunateness is not seeing the link to what's occurring. It's seeing that you can always find attributes in the other person that most drives you crazy. You can always find those attributes as attributes that you are denying as you yourself possessing. I mean, it's through law. It's just like dropping this phone. Gravity occurs, and it's going to occur the same every time. Well, there's those same spiritual laws, the unseen laws, that it's not about judgment or favoring or deserving or not. It's you're coming from a state of being. You're in a state of consciousness, and you're going to have that in your experience. You're going to have that reflected beyond you. And I mean, for instance, you might have I've had a friend say, yeah, I love my girlfriend. She's like this, but she drives me crazy. She's so egotistical. She's this, she's that. And simple question is, well, where is it in you that you are driven by ego? Where is it that you're egotistical? And beautiful thing you can offer yourself is when you give pause and actually take that in, versus sometimes I'm not that way. That's why I'm having a problem with her. You know, but you can see time and time again. I mean, I've had another friend. He's having challenges with his girlfriend. He's like, she is so dramatic, and I mean, he's the picture of dramatic. You know what I'm saying? And again, this is the good news. You know, that's why I love in your face responsibility. I love challenging myself and others to take in the feedback, because ultimately your relationship with you, life, it's all one relationship with God. And God is always communicating, and it's communicating through your relationships. It's not like, I almost said, well, it's not like there's going to be a big billboard and it's going to say X, Y, but actually even that does happen. You might, I remember one time I was walking through Brooklyn, New York, and I look up and there was an advertisement for this new New York ferry line. And it said something to the effect of, just relax, let go, and let us do the navigating. And so it was a very poignant moment based on where I was at in my state. And it was perfect that I looked up at that moment. So again, these aren't coincidences for me. It's, again, recognizing our synchronicity, our connection with life. It's all seamless. And it's actually formless. I mean, through Einstein's explanation of physics, when you really keep narrowing it down, microscope level, it's life, all matter. It's 99.9994 it's just empty space. This is this beautiful unfoldment of consciousness and thought that is occurring. So this continuation to see life outside of you or to put blame, a lot of it can be attributed to conditioned mind. And these are beliefs that could be adopted through childhood experiences with friends, family, somewhere along the path, getting the idea that you weren't smart enough, weren't good enough. It's in some way through your path, you've adopted a belief system that has conditioned you to almost by default let that be your starting point in life. And again, when we finally get to that point where we're realizing we are beyond any condition, beyond any limitation, and we turn within, we root ourselves in our true essence, that which is spirit, that is infinite intelligence. It is eternal love. It's grace. We allow ourselves not only to feel it, but be so rooted deeply in it that we are being it. It is our state. We are demonstrations, beautiful, powerful demonstrations of God, of spirit. And again, demonstrations of self-acceptance. As mentioned before, confidence, conditioned mind, it can be a clear confidence killer. It's like, I'm sure many of y'all have heard that analogy of the elephant, where you have the very young elephant and some of the trainers put a stake in the ground and put a chain around his ankle. And at that young age, he's not able to break free. But they purposely start this when he's young. And as he gets older, he gets to a point where you have this full-grown elephant with this stake placed in the ground where he could so easily kick it off. But he has in his conditioned mind that this limitation is going to hold him in place. And beautiful thing is asking ourselves, where have we carried and continued to have a stake in the ground, hold us and bind us? And what breaks us free so easily? It's not through the over intellectualizing or the over efforting or straining. It's the simplicity of bringing us back to source, bringing us back to spirit, allowing that vibrational essence of who we are simply light our life. Let that be our start and our beginning point. The return to spirit. There's also the sabotage of judgment. Deepak Chopra I love how he says this, and I so connect with it. He says, every fault you see in them touches a every fault you see in them touches a denied weakness in yourself. And this, I actually kind of already said that in another way. But this is the spiritual love hammer. You know, I love things that wake me up. And there used to be a time when I was I was young, and I was younger, and I used to get so defensive and take everything so personal, and it was very dramatic. And I love it. Was Miriam Wilson says, defensiveness is the first offense. And that was so often what I was demonstrating. Someone could just be offering me something up, and I was not having it. And I'm so thankful that I've gotten to a place where not only do I take it in, but I solicit it. I want it. I love it. I'm like, bring on the feedback. I mean, ultimately, I think it's quite easy to gauge when it's rooted in a place of love and empowerment. And not only do I want it for myself, but I give it, sometimes unsolicited. But the reason it works is not only I do it unsolicited because I love them, for one, but it's received because my place of being is rooted from a place of not judgment, but of empowering them. It's a place of empowerment. And I'll say for some, it's a little adjustment. It might sting a little at first, but just, energy and life communicates well before we speak. And I think that's what's allowed that to be a powerful, mutual, self-serving, self-supporting relationship that I've had. Again, as I spoke, the relationship with life, what we encounter with others, our challenges, all being gifts. It's seeing that the relationships are all ultimately a relationship that we're having with spirit, with the universe. It's seeing, there's my alarm, perfect. And God is always giving, is always loving, is always a powerful, beautiful, creative essence and being. It's always pure. It is always whole. So what it's providing, allowing yourself to take it in, to heed it, to listen, and to match that vibration. What a powerful, beautiful gift. And again, how do we do that? Again, it's the simplicity of turning within and reminding ourselves who we are, reminding ourselves of the oneness that is, of us being connected, and not only from, but we are spirit itself. All that we are is spirit. All that we are is grace, is love. Reverend Richard spoke about this cartoon that he loved from Dennis the Menace. Remember, he spoke about this in a service a few years ago. He spoke about how in this cartoon, Dennis says to his friend Joey, "Joey, you're going to be you for the rest of your life, so you better get used to it." And how beautiful that is. It's the invitation is, why wait to eventually get to a point where you're accepting of you in all its color, all its bruises, all its highs and lows, because we all have them. Have it now. Accept you for you now. Not only embrace it, but the invitation is to turn it up. It almost it hits me in the heart sometimes when I see someone apologize for crying, or they apologize for just getting so excited, and they see a group and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry." If anything, turn it up. I love the analogy of looking at your life in terms of a faucet, and some of us have it turned on 50-60% of the way, and some of that is because we are concerning ourselves with outside ideas of what we would look like if we turned ourselves all the way on, outside ideas and judgment. And what a liberating thing when we allow ourselves to fully express the unique individual expressions that we are of God. And I tell you, the older I'm getting, the more I'm like let's do this. I'm about to be 40 here in a few weeks, and it's been such a gift because it brings to my mind the importance of simply letting go and letting your unique light be what it is. I love, somehow organically, I'm sure it's been said before, I don't know if it's trademarked, maybe I want to, I just love the idea of you being you and I'll be me. You be you and I'll be me. And just letting people be them. It's like I've said before, a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on wanting to explain the importance of being yourself. Just be yourself, honey. Be yourself, sweetheart. It's in doing that to truly allow or invite other people, or truly allowing yourself to be yourself. It's allowing others to be themselves. Again, because if there's judgment happening, it's beginning in one place. That's within you. When there's the God presence, which is whole, perfect, loving, and complete, it's just the bliss of life occurring. Again, our one purpose I wouldn't say one, but purpose of life that Ernest Holmes, who wrote The Science of Mind, he says the purpose in life is to express. And it's just that, allowing yourself to express your own unique light, not only without any apologies, but to truly light the fire and turn the faucet on all the way, 100%. The prescription is to turn within and know spirit. Cultivating a powerful inner dialogue, these powerful reminders that bring you back home, bring you back to that true essence. And one thing I'll close with is, don't get so caught up in working on the elimination of things by the virtue of you being clear about what moves you, what you're passionate about, what speaks to you. Being clear about it, even so much as to writing it, you're allowing life to open up and support you. And the rest just simply dissolves away. It's, if anything, turn away from the limitation, the lack, turn away from the caustic beat up and stories you've told yourself. It's focus on what opens you up. Focus on what has you experience that bliss. And simply allow. If y'all could join me in turning within, close with an affirmative prayer. As we turn within and dance in spirit, dance in the light, be in a state of joy, in a state of gratitude, knowing we get to live that life as God, as spirit, being the demonstration of oneness, blessed and being a blessing to those around us. Giving thanks that we can be a source of light for ourselves and others. Being blessed that we can and are the demonstration of infinite intelligence. We are the demonstration of wholeness, of abundance, of prosperity, of unconditional love. Always, in all ways. It is all the time, no place that Spirit is not. Nourishes our being. Reveals wholeness, wellness. Giving thanks for the peace, the overflow of peaceful, vibrational energy. This blissful state of love. I give thanks for that collective one mind that is in operation right now. For each person here, knowing their truth, radiantly and joyfully and boldly expressing their unique, divine, radiant light, their shining expression. I give thanks knowing it always lands and unfolds in the field of love. Always fed divine guidance, operating through divine intelligence, operating from the one mind, God consciousness. For it is all that we are, it is all that is. I simply let go and allow. Let go and let God. And so it is.